Oh, really? Okay. Oh, good morning from Meaux, or Meaux. Oh, who knows? Chateau Meaux. Meaux. Who knew what Meaux or Meaux was? Anyway, we'll cut that out. So I'm just watching Dad nearly get run over. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's probably nervous laughter. I mean, I love Oatly, but I don't love it that much.
Hi, I'm Daz and she's B, and we're on a 12-week road trip round France with our boys and our greyhound Sammy. Join us as we explore the history, beauty and fun we can squeeze in while getting to grips with the challenges of working and home educating on the road as a family in France, living a life less ordinary as we escape in the motorhome.
I'm sure Daz mentioned that when we pulled into this rather large urban town yesterday. I mean, come on, look at this. I can't wait to have my shower this morning. When we pulled into this town yesterday, not far from Paris at all, it was busy and it was gridlocked. There were road closures and it just felt like a real urban nightmare. Our first urban nightmare of 3 months. And actually it gave us a reminder of what it's like driving through our hometown, which we sometimes have to do during swimming lessons and things, during the rush hour, and it's stop-start, roundabouts, irate drivers and traffic lights, and it's not very nice. Not looking forward to going back to that at all, really. But we've pulled up at the Motorhome Air and we are at the very tip of what looks like a very large nature reserve. Now, Daz showed you the map last night, and it's my job this morning on this glorious, dank, hopefully last of the cold spell mornings, even though it's 5 degrees warmer today, which is nice, and we're expecting a lot of rain. That's the only thing. He showed you the map and we're right on the tip of this great big nature reserve, so I'm going to go and see where we are, what we might see in it, and hopefully I'll be lucky enough to see some good nature, because everyone's been seeing kingfishers apart from me. And I don't think that's fair. I want to see a kingfisher. Yeah, so it feels very English, this little woodland we've got here. It's very nice, very calm. And I've seen a magpie so far. Apparently there are a series of ponds, etang, I think the French word is, a series of ponds. And I think that could be quite interesting to wander around. We might see some kingfishers. I know I'm obsessing about this, but I'm just jealous. Well, rain has stopped play. Sammy has voted with his paws. So back to the motorhome, and hopefully I can persuade the children to come out and explore the rest of the nature reserve, because 2 coots, a few ducks and a magpie is not what I constitute a nature walk, but I'll take what I can get. And this PARKUP is right next to the most amazing Allotment. It is the stuff of dreams and so cute.
Today we're topping up on water, and this is only the second time of our whole trip I've seen this as the water outlet, and it flummoxed me at first, and then I was thinking, this doesn't go in there, there's no screw, but obviously it is a universal fitting. You just got to push the sleeve back and connect. Now I can't connect my hose to this, but luckily something I also bought from Wilco's at the time I bought these brass fittings was this, and I'm hoping, yes, I think in theory that should click into there, and then I can click my hose pipe onto that end. But these, rather than screw fits or just taps, are the only time I've seen this is in this kind of middle north of France, nowhere else. So thankfully this wasn't a wasted purchase. Unluckily, somewhere along the line we've lost our rubber universal fitting one with the key. Must have just left it on the side or something like that, so someone else has got that along with our water cap. So good luck to them. Anyway, we're going to move, and to bagsy our space I'm going to leave the electrical cable there, just because, you know, someone might slip in while we're just over there. Anyway, today we're not hanging around here anyway. I think we're going to hang around till lunch. We're going to try and fit in a shower because everyone's feeling a bit greasy. And then Sammy's got his worming at the VETS at 2, so we can't miss that. So we're leaving plenty of contingency time to get there, because this town was chock-a-block last night and we have no idea what the roads are like this morning. So we're going to give it about an hour, even though it's only about 30 minutes away. and unfortunately the water is not inviting enough this morning for paddleboarding or swimming. It would have been lovely to say, oh, I've also swam in the Marne River too. The next river we see will be the Seine, and then the next thing we see after that would be the English Channel, and I'm not swimming in either of those. Okay, on with the day. So the beauty of that type of hose pipe connection means people are less likely to put their toilet cassette up against it in the wrong way and cover it. The downside of it is there's no way of controlling the speed. So this thing is just basically full speed or nothing. So I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure if I'm filling it up or just if it's just fighting a massive air bubble inside. You can get water caps that have a hose pipe fitting on this end. So you just simply take your cap out, replace it with the hose pipe one. But I mean, there's so much waste water going down here. That's how fast it's coming out. I'm absolutely soaked. Right, I better go before my phone gets wet. Well, that was that. That's the fastest fill up ever, and the whole area is soaked. So it now makes me think, I suppose what you're supposed to do is buy an attachment for the other end of the hose pipe so you can regulate the speed. So there's something else I need to buy. But right now I have wet trousers and wet feet for the day. Lovely. Right, better get on with the cassette before my water runs out. Well, B got the boys out, but what was this they spied?
Extended its wings out again. It's just so beautiful. Just wish I knew what it was. Yeah, he's definitely drying himself out. What are you? My son has spotted lots of mistletoe. Parasitical mistletoe in the trees. No white berries as yet, but of course around Christmas time it will look incredibly festive with all of its white berries. It is like the wetlands centre. I was going to say that at Arundel. You're right. Arundel. They actually have wetland centres all around the UK, but I don't have membership to that anymore. There you go, some more shots of the gorgeous allotment. This guy's got a load of sunflowers and some squashes. So we've had to make a bit of a detour back to base. Oh, there's toilets there. I wonder if they're open. Yep, locked. I'm sensing that Sammy is aware that we're going to the vets. He looks kind of depressed. It could be something to do with the fact that I've tried to cut his nails today, which he also hates. Yeah, I need to get a Dremel with some sort of doggy toenail attachment to it because he's not a fan. So greyhounds have great big long nails with great big long quicks in them, so they always look like they need their nails cut, whether or not they're cut properly or not. But Sammy's okay with getting them cut, but it's got worse and worse as the months have gone on. And he's very cute with it. He kind of goes, no! Anyway, he's looking quite depressed because he's going to go and get his worming tablet now. We're going to Bussy St George, or Bussy St George's, as we would probably say, which is about half an hour drive from this lovely PARKUP. Doesn't look lovely, but actually it has been. It's right next to a nature reserve and some allotments and urban sprawl is just over the way there, beyond the sunflowers.
And the route we're taking takes us around the big circle around Disneyland, so the boys may get a glimpse of a tower or
oh
two.
Boys, so it's a overcast but muggy day today, so I've got the window open. We've just set off to go to the vets and I heard this water spray and then a clunk noise fall out, and then Daz, was it the water cap?
About to get run over.
Oh my gosh, Daz was about to get run over. But we heard the water cap fall off. Reason being is that Sammy was apparently in the way of the seat, so he couldn't put it down where he normally puts it down to stop him from leaving it. And so he put it back in the place where he put it back in the place. I'm just watching Daz nearly get run over. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's probably nervous laughter. I'll wait until Daz comes in and he can explain it to you. But we've saved the water cap. Why did we nearly lose the water cap a second time?
Same reason as that. Well, no, that. So I was doing the toilet waste and that water, and you only got the key. I have to take the key out to do both. Anyway, took the cap out. Normally put it on
The
passenger seat, but Sammy was watching me from inside, and so I didn't.
Open the door.
I'm not indicating. Oh, okay. So I didn't open the door. I just put it on the side by the petrol cap, and of course went back to deal with the toilet waste and the grey waste, and everything else, and forgot to put it back in.
And the next we heard, it was skimming across the outskirts of Paris on the road. Thankfully, it's a muggy day, and we had the windows open, and we heard it go splash, splash, splash on the pavement across the road.
Yeah, a bit like the rest of Stampy and me, it now has some age-related marks.
Oh, and it was a super shiny new one as well from Sabatalon when we lost the last one. Oh well, at least we saved it. That would have been a real kicker had it not been saved. So here we are at the VETS, not far from Paris. And we're going to go and get Sam's worming tablet before we go back to the UK. He's not so keen. Do you know where you are? It smells clean. Sam, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Well, that's it. All done. We're all up to date with our worming tablet. It was €55, which isn't unbearable. It's not the cheapest, but it's certainly not the most expensive either. And do you know what? What was even nicer was the fact that the service was so lovely. The receptionist was lovely. The vet was lovely. She spoke perfect English, but also let me experiment with my French. So we did a little bit of French together as well. And she helped me with pronunciation. And weighed Sammy. Sammy hasn't lost any weight, hasn't gained any weight, so that's great. Still 30 kilos. And she managed to get the entire worming tablet down him by kind of doing this very clever back of the throat, getting him to chew on his back teeth and swallowing it. He didn't want to swallow it, but he eventually did, and he had a little treat. Just the nicest vet, and just lovely experience from start to finish. I took a photo grab of an image of what I was supposed to have on my animal health certificate and she knew exactly what she was doing anyway, but I just double checked it against the animal health certificate screenshot that I'd got, the screen grab, and to make sure it was all correct, which it was. And she stamped every page, gave me a bill of clean health certificate as well, which I don't need, but it was very nice. And all in all, an excellent experience. So that was a Buzzy Saint-Georges, but I don't know whether I'm saying Bussy correctly. Vets, and an excellent service if you're ever needing to get the animal health certificate signed and a worming tablet before you leave France and you're near Paris. I mean, I love Oatly, but I don't love it that much. So worming is done, and we've just pulled up to Paris Est, and we are going to stay here for 3 nights in order to explore Paris. So my beloved plane trees are gone, and we've got these ones instead. But these are the kind of bugs we're seeing everywhere in France. So many of them. Yes, you've read it here. Us being all virtuous. And we've got a very early start tomorrow. Paris, 3 days, bumper, sightseeing mission. Here we come. Can we handle it? Probably not. Not with 3 children. So, and a dog, because Sammy is coming on board for his Parisian adventure, aren't you, dude? He's already looking a bit melancholy about the whole affair. But apparently that's just his long dog face.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, we've just managed to achieve a family meal outside in the Paris.
In the Paris.
In the Paris. In the Paris suburb. I was going to say in the middle of... It's not the middle of Paris. So we've just managed to achieve a family meal in the campsite on the outskirts of Paris. And before that, Bea and I spent a good couple of hours putting together an itinerary for the next 2 days, so our weekend in Paris.
Yes, we've got a few things we definitely want to do, a few things that have key entry times on, and a few restrictions because we've got people that won't be able to walk too far, and we've got a dog. So we've been planning our route from this campsite, which isn't the easiest route, on foot to the train station and then into Paris. We could take him on the bus, but I think it's too much of a risk because from what I've read, dogs over 14 centimetres long.
14?
I think it's, no, maybe not 14.
40?
It's probably more like 40, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, probably 40, maybe 45, 14. Tiny dogs. But yeah, dogs you can put in your basket. They get in for free on the buses, but otherwise you're not allowed on. So I think we've got a long walk tomorrow.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you're looking and you've got 5 people to consider plus a dog, as opposed to just being a couple. So the site here, you're able to buy a day ticket for €21, I think, for an adult, or €9.50 for a child up to the age of 11. Which all worked out about €50, excluding the dog, versus buying individual sort of 1.5 hour timed tickets inside Paris. So it's a real toss-up between which is going to work for us. I think it's going to be the tickets.
Yeah, I think we're going to go for the tickets because day one, so tomorrow, we've got the batter bus, hop on, hop off all day. Now, having done this before, about 7 years ago, I know it's not as easy as just hopping on and hopping off. It's a time-consuming affair. It's a longer way of doing things. But because we know we've got to be there early, and because we know we want to stay there until we see the hourly illuminations on the Eiffel Tower, we know it's going to be a long day. So we're not in a huge rush. We've just got to make sure we hit 2 timed entries for 2 things we want to do tomorrow. So batter bus is going to be our preferred method of transport tomorrow once we get into Paris.
I was going to say, on that, it's got 9 stops along the Seine, going from, I think, the Eiffel Tower, round past the Tuileries, down to the
Jardin de Fleurs, something about
just beyond Notre Dame,
Garden
basically.
of the Flowers, something like that.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice. So Daryl's found some interesting additional places to go to, but we've got the traditional things on the list as well. And because Paris, of course, is going to be better for vegans, we've found some cool vegan cafes that we definitely want to try out. I think that'd be really nice because that's something we haven't been able to do. We sit down with a nice milky coffee or a nice cup of tea and some vegan cakes. That would be a lovely thing to have a go at doing. Then on Sunday, we're relying more on public transport as opposed to a bateau.
I think we're heading towards the Tuileries to have a morning cafe thing before you go to the Louvre for 1
Yes,
o'clock.
we've got the Louvre as well, and Sunday.
And then this Sunday happens to be the first Sunday of the month. And because of that, so one of the 2 Roman things you can do in Paris is either the amphitheatre, which I think is open just to walk around every day. It's essentially like a ruin. We'll see. The other thing is the Roman baths, and they're normally, what did I say they were? I think about €12 a ticket entry, but on the first Sunday of every month, they're free. And on Sunday, not tomorrow, Sunday is the first Sunday of September, so we can give that a go before we find something else to do, and then we're going to head sort of slightly north towards the Sacré-Cœur for sort of dinner time. Not in time for sunset because that doesn't happen until about 8:30, and we could be back here with the kids in bed, not too late because Monday morning we've got to be up super early
Straight to Disneyland. Woohoo! So there's always a temptation to cram a day in Paris like you'd cram a day in London, and we know full well that can't really happen. I should know that from experience, that when I go to London I'll do 1 museum and then you kind of feel like you're done, whereas we're already packing the day with quite a lot of things. But it's not all museums, it's quite a few monuments.
And also because only a couple of things are really paid for, we can just drop them. So coming back on the end of Saturday and then hanging around for the twinkly lights of the Eiffel Tower, if we've got some time to kill, we can actually walk down to where the small Statue of Liberty stands so the kids can see that. But I mean, if we get there late, we can scratch that one off.
Yeah. So what was quite nice about this Paris Est campsite is that they give you a big pamphlet of information as you go in, like most campsites, but they also give you the bus timetables, they give you an itinerary of how to get to certain places. So they'll make a suggestion of all the 5 different train stations and where they will take you to in terms of tourist attractions in Paris. So I think that's really quite useful. So it's Marvilla Parks run this particular campsite, and we stayed here probably about 7 years ago as well, maybe 6 years ago. So I went to Paris with Indy when he was about 7, but we also came to Paris when Phoenix was a baby, so we have been here more recently than that together, and that's when we did the Palace of Versailles. Really sad I'm not going to Palace of Versailles this time round, but you can't win it all. Yeah, I am due a visit.
I think once you reach the dizzy heights of breastfeeding in the Hall of Mirrors,
nothing can top that. I've also expressed at the top of the Eiffel Tower as well.
A little bit too much information for you there.
I had to pour it down the toilet because Felix wasn't with me.
I don't know what this site costs. I was going to say, there's loads of
It's not
pitches.
cheap.
It's kind of like, there's a lot of, there's cabins, there's areas for pitched tents, and then you've got motorhome areas. There's sanitary facilities. You have got a bit of a busy road that they've tried to screen it with trees and stuff, but you can hear the traffic there. It's constant. And then you've got the river this side of us, which is wide and beautiful and slow. So
yeah,
there's
lots
quite
of people walking on the river this evening. It's a really nice
watch
atmosphere.
out for the bikes over there, and watch out for the gnats. There's loads of gnats over there. And there's another one on Sammy's head.
Yeah, we've been covering ourselves tonight and making sure. But I'm quite excited because I'm going to go and have a shower. Woohoo!
Join us next time as we take the train into the centre of Paris with our dog, climb an icon, and even go in search of what's left of the Bastille. But it's not all sunshine and lollipops.
So my heart is broken.
Well, I'm actually a little bit saddened by it. But it's not all doom and gloom. Join us next time in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Until our next escape, thanks for watching.